Marriott operates nearly 1.5 million hotel rooms worldwide, yet owns almost none of them. Here's where the real money actually went. Everyone thinks Marriott is in the hotel business. They're wrong. The accepted story says Marriott built an empire by acquiring properties, managing them brilliantly, and collecting revenue. Sounds logical, and for decades, that's exactly what investors believed. But here's the trick. Starting in the 1990s, Marriott systematically dismantled that model. They began selling off their own properties, hundreds of them, while keeping management contracts. The cash flow didn't stop, it accelerated. Why would a company that owns hotels sell them? Because real estate is a capital trap. When you own a building, your money sits in bricks and mortar. It doesn't move. Maintenance eats cash. Property taxes never stop. Renovations cost millions. A single hurricane or recession can crater your asset value overnight. Marriott's leadership, particularly under J.W. Marriott Jr., realized something most corporations miss. Ownership is a liability, not an asset. So they inverted the formula. Marriott stopped owning. Instead, they became the brand, the operator, the franchise authority. Developers and institutional investors, pension funds, wealthy syndicates bought the properties. Marriott collected management fees, franchise fees, and loyalty program revenue. The capital requirements vanished, the risk transferred, and the cash, it flowed in predictably, regardless of who held the deed. This wasn't just financial engineering, it was strategic. By 1995, Marriott owned roughly 60% of its properties. By 2008, that figure had collapsed to under 5%. The company that once seemed property-rich was now asset-light. Wall Street initially punished them. Analysts said they were abandoning their core business. But the balance sheet told a different story: higher returns on invested capital, lower debt, faster growth, and resilience during downturns. The real strategic importance of real estate wasn't ownership, it was control. By owning the brand, the standards, and the customer relationship, Marriott controlled the entire ecosystem without bearing the burden of capital. Developers needed their brand to attract guests. Guests needed their loyalty program. Franchisees needed their systems. Real estate was just the stage. Marriott owned the theater. What this model did was create optionality. During recessions, Marriott didn't bleed capital trying to stabilize properties. They could adjust fees, negotiate with owners, or shift brands upmarket or downmarket without rewriting the entire portfolio. When competitors like Hilton or IHG still carried massive real estate debt, Marriott moved faster. They acquired brands. They expanded globally. They weren't fighting their balance sheet. Today, Marriott manages properties it doesn't own. They collect fees from every angle: management, franchise, reservation systems, loyalty, redemptions. The capital requirements are minimal. The returns are maximized. And here's the final twist. When real estate values rise, Marriott doesn't benefit directly, but their franchisees do, which makes them want to build more Marriott properties. When values fall, Marriott's model barely flinches. They've engineered themselves into a position where they win regardless of what happens to real estate. This is why Marriott has lasted. Not because they're better at running hotels than competitors, but because they stopped trying to own them. They understood that in the modern economy, brands matter more than assets. Control beats ownership, and recurring fees beat one-time revenue. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe. We decode how the world's most enduring companies actually make their money. Subscribe. We decode how the world's most enduring companies actually make their money. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.